Are you dreaming of a luxurious open shower or trendy vessel sink? Hold that thought. In this video, I'm breaking down the pitfalls of popular bathroom trends that can lead to cold showers, flooded floors, and endless cleaning headaches. Before you renovate, watch this to save yourself time, money, and regret. Let's get started. A large and fancy two-person shower or an open shower may seem like a super luxurious thing to have, but I urge you to think twice before getting one. You'll be shivering unless there's a steam function, and even then it can still be chilly. They're mostly suited to warmer climates. You can get around this by having an extra heating in your bathroom, but fair warning that it will be costly to install and your energy consumption will almost certainly go up. I've also found that a lot of these showers don't have enough slope on the floor, so they end up having drainage issues and end up flooding the showers. Having enough slope is very important, and it is crucial to get it right from the start because it is hard to rectify if a mistake was made and such a pain to deal with puddling water. Talk to your contractor and make sure they do the job well. I stayed in an Airbnb once where the contractor messed this up and every shower would leave the whole bathroom puddling in water and the bath mat was soaking wet all the time. Another thing to take note of is the size of your shower and where the opening is. Make sure that it is big enough and there's a screen to reduce splash, because otherwise it is just a disaster waiting to happen. When I'm designing a home, I always think about how to make it work smarter, and that is exactly what I look for in the tools I use every day, which is why I've been loving the new Opera One R2. I spend hours every day researching for my videos, writing scripts, and managing projects, and keeping everything organized is key. With tab islands, I can group my research together and collapse what I don't need, so my browser never feels cluttered. And when I need to work on two things at once, split screen makes it so much easier. Instead of juggling multiple windows, I can have my script on one side and my research on the other, all in the same browser window. But what really makes a difference is how seamless everything feels. If I need quick answers while working, I don't have to switch apps. Area AI is built right in. With just a shortcut, I can quickly summon the Area command line and get instant information without even leaving the page I'm on. There's also dynamic themes with animated backgrounds and sounds, which I think is a really cool way to set up a mood and customize my workspace. And it is not just about work. Opera One R2 is also perfect for unwinding. I can easily control my music without switching tabs. Opera One R2 keeps everything in one place, making my workflow smooth, efficient, and distraction-free. If you want to try it out, you can download it for free using the link in the description. Thanks to Opera for sponsoring today's video. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have a bathtub in a small bathroom. It is just that your options are much more limited and there are certain designs that you should probably avoid. Firstly, freestanding tubs in a small bathroom are a no-go. If your space is so small that your tub has to be shoved up against a wall, it will be impossible to clean. Dust and dirt will accumulate in the tiny gap between the tub and the wall, and it is a pain in the ass to clean it. Ideally, you need about 20 cm gap the whole way around a freestanding tub. However, if you love the look of a freestanding tub and have a small bathroom, consider a back-to-wall or back-to-corner tubs which sit flush with your wall on one side and look like a freestanding tub on the other. This kind of gives you the best of both. The other bathtub style that you should avoid in a small bathroom are tubs with thick edges. It is wasted space and isn't economical when you have a very small footprint. Instead, go for a tub with a thinner rim. It won't take up as much space but will still hold the same volume of water or even more. These can be more pricey, but if you have a tiny bathroom, it is worth the investment. What I've realized over the years is that there's a lot more challenges designing a small bathroom than you'll initially think. Which is why I've put together a video on 9 design tips to maximize a small bathroom. You should check it out if you have a small bathroom yourself. And a final type which applies to bathrooms of all sizes are jetted tubs. It may seem like a good idea, but the novelty will wear off super quickly and you'll find that it is rarely used in everyday life. They end up being much more costly than getting a regular tub. They're complicated to install, there's maintenance costs, and they also increase your energy bill. I'll personally skip this one if you're unsure. If you want a bathroom that looks great but doesn't turn into a cleaning nightmare, I've got something for you. I've put together the ultimate low-maintenance home guide where I break down the best materials, finishes, and design choices to keep your home effortless to maintain. It is totally free and you can grab it using the link here and in the description. Vessel sinks are definitely one of the most popular sink types at the moment, and I agree they do look fantastic. It is not just consumers. Contractors also love them as they're super easy to install. All they have to do is cut a rough hole in the vanity for a drain pipe and stick the sink on top. But they're not without their faults. The main problem with them is that water splashes and a ring of mold and grime between the sink and countertop is bound to develop if you don't clean them regularly. A proper seal has to be applied, but many people skip out on these steps. It is even worse if you have a flat bottom sink because the water never drains properly and they're so much more difficult to clean. Every time you spit toothpaste in or shave, you have to splash water to clean it down, otherwise it'll end up sitting there for days, which is gross. There's also a similar problem with square and rectangular sinks, regardless of whether they're a vessel design or not, especially the shallow ones or ones with sharp edges. Dirt ends up gathering in the corners and along the edges, which is very hard to clean. Instead, I'll advise going for an undermount sink or an integrated basin. They do take up more space in your vanity compared to vessel sinks that sit directly on top. But if you want to make your bathroom as low maintenance as possible, this is the way to go as there are no gaps for grime to form. And if you must have a vessel sink, go for one with a flat but sloped bottom and curved edges rather than those in an actual bowl shape. This one is one of my pet peeves, vanities with short legs. I'm talking about ones that are just an inch off the floor, which makes them perfect for all the hair, dust, and all sorts of debris to accumulate underneath and are almost impossible to clean. Vacuum cleaners can't get under them. It is hard to sweep them because the bathroom gets humid and sticky, and mopping under it is also a challenge. Instead, go for a vanity with taller legs, a floating vanity, or just no legs at all. You'll thank me later. While we're on the topic of cleaning, if you hate cleaning and want a low maintenance home in general, you might be interested in checking out my video on 11 things to avoid if you hate cleaning. Pebble effect tiles are probably the most hated shower floor to clean, mainly because it is a rough surface and gathers dirt. Soap scum builds up a lot more than an ordinary tile floor and it's a lot harder to clean. Plus, all that extra grout is likely to collect calcium deposits if you live in an area with hard water. And let's face it, that is not a great look. Some people even do the pebble effect for their whole bathroom floor rather than just in the shower, and I've seen it stain yellow around the toilet. It's really gross. Not to forget to mention that these tiles can be extremely uncomfortable underfoot for a long period of time. Some people may like it, but it is best to test them out in store if you're considering installing them. Now, I'll personally still advise against them and suggest normal tiles for your shower floor instead. Also, as a little tip, go for a larger format tiles. The larger they are, the easier they'll be to clean as there will be less grout lines. Every luxury design magazine seems to have marble showers and they sure do look good, but I can't stress enough how difficult they can be to maintain. You have to pre-seal it before installing and then reseal it every 6 months. When the sealant wears off, water can seep in and cause the minerals in the stone to rust. That is when you'll start to see those white, brown, or yellowish spots. Also, marble etches easily when in contact with acidic substances, and there's all sorts of acids in general bathroom cleaners. You have to be very careful about what products you use, as most damage occurs from accidentally using the wrong chemical cleaners. Instead, get a ceramic or porcelain tiles. They're so much easier to maintain and clean. Most of us find cleaning showers to be a massive chore anyway, and you don't really want to make your life harder with marble. Now, if you just love the look of marble, just be prepared for the maintenance required. And know that some types, like Carrara White, are more porous and more susceptible to absorbing water and stains. At the end of the day, all the nice houses with marble showers likely hire specialist cleaners for their bathroom rather than cleaning it themselves. Tiled countertops were really popular in the 1970s, and there has been a resurgence in this decade like all those tiled side tables and coffee tables people were DIYing. But largely for the same reason as pebble effect tiles, tiled countertops aren't practical for cleaning because of all the unnecessary grout lines. There's also more opportunities for them to look bad because tiles can easily crack. And the job also requires heaps of miring work, and a lot of the time it doesn't look good if it doesn't line up perfectly on the corners. The only instant where a pedestal sink works is in a half bath, a powder room, or a very tiny bathroom. Otherwise, they're super impractical. This is because they don't provide any storage, and even worse, there's no countertop space. Pretty much pedestal sinks were designed back in the early 20th century, but 100 years ago, bathrooms were much smaller, and back then, people generally applied their makeup or did their hair in their bedroom rather than in their bathroom, so they could get away without the countertop space. But fast forward to 2024, with our multi-step skincare routines and hundreds of products, most of us need that extra space. In fact, there's barely enough space to balance a bottle of hand soap, let alone a whole makeup kit on one of these. I can safely say that I've knocked my fair share of soap bottles from pedestal sinks onto the ground. So yeah, pedestal sinks do look pretty and are great for authenticity in historical or period homes. But you really need to think about whether you need countertop space and storage. And if the reason why you're installing a pedestal sink is because your bathroom is very tiny, maybe consider alternatives like a narrow sink cabinet. They have a surprising amount of storage. Open concept bathrooms. You know, the ones that don't have any doors at all. This may seem exciting and luxurious, but most people end up regretting them. The seamless flow is not practical for two main reasons. Number one, it compromises your privacy. This may not seem like an issue at first, but most couples have different schedules, and an open concept bathroom means that light and noise will wake your partner up if one of you has to get ready at 5 a.m. in the morning. Secondly, there's the moisture and humidity issue. There's no door to contain it to just the bathroom area, so it will spread all around the room, affecting your decor and furniture. You have to install a proper exhaust fans, and even then, it is not a foolproof method to prevent damage. The solution here is to have a normal bathroom with a door. Plain and simple, but it works. Rain shower heads can be a nice addition, there's no denying that. You can pretend to be Andy after a long day at work. But if it's the only shower head in your bathroom, you might run into some serious frustrations. The biggest issue is that you have no control. Since rain shower heads are mounted directly above you, it is very hard to wash your body without getting your hair soaked every single time. And if you've ever tried to rinse off soap from specific areas, you know how impractical that is. Without a handheld shower head, rinsing down the walls and floor properly can also become a hassle. You'll either have to awkwardly splash water with your hands or hope gravity does the work for you. Not exactly ideal. Rain shower heads should always be an addition, not the only option. The best setup is pairing it with a handheld shower head. Yes, I can't end this video without mentioning this. If there's one place where a barn door shouldn't exist, it's definitely the bathroom. The biggest issue? Lack of privacy. Most barn doors don't seal tightly, meaning sound travels easily, and there's often a visible gap between the door and the wall. Not exactly ideal when you want to do your business in peace. Half of the hotels I've been to in the past year have had barn doors installed, and it amazes me how much smell and sound travels through them. The major problem here is improper fitting. Many barn doors are installed without proper soundproofing, and some don't have adequate latches, leaving them slightly ajar even when closed. Without the right pocket seals or soft close mechanisms, they can rattle, let in drafts, or simply feel flimsy. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of it, but if you do want one, just install them properly. So, before you go all in on a trendy bathroom upgrade, remember, functionality should always come first. If you enjoyed this video, check out this video on 11 things to avoid if you want a low maintenance bathroom, or this video on low maintenance home. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.